Welcome back to the LCS. My name is Captain Flowers. I'm joined by Kobe. We're taking over the desk here for the last 3 games of the weekend. And coming up here now, we've got Evil Geniuses facing off against Dignitas, which means taking on the many-faced man of the jungle himself in Dardoch.
I love this minigame. What champ will Dardoch play today? He is at 9 champs right now. He's looking for a unique 10 if he gets a different one. I've got my money on Graves. I feel like that one is an easy slot in. If it's banned, something like Elise or Rek'Sai, maybe. But get onto Twitter, show us what your answer is as well, and hopefully Dardoch will deliver. Honestly,
but you gotta go fast.
Yeah, you gotta go fast. Get in there right now so we can get your answers up. On the other side of it, dealing with the variety that Dardoch has shown here so far in the LCS and his prevalence for going towards the bottom side, I think EG are going to have to keep that in mind, as Dignitas have a very high percentage of Dardoch's time spent near the bottom half of the map, and EG right now are looking to solidify a better spot in the top echelons. We've had such a shakeup in the standings at the top side, with Team Liquid dropping down to 3-3, TSM now moving up to 4-2. So which one is EG going to join right now? They are tied with Dignitas right in the middle, and EG have been making this really big case that they can separate themselves and join the upper half, but Dig are right there looking to snatch it away.
Well, we're already seeing a couple of those jungle bans towards some of the more popular fellas in the jungle here coming out from Dignitas. They're saying, look, we've got the jungle ocean. We don't need the top meta picks. We can just take those off the table. So Udyr and Olaf are banned away. On the other side, we've got TF, Rel, and Thresh all removed from the available pool here, trying to shut down some of the playmaking from Afro Moon.
I was going to see if they're going to go after Impact at all. And they do ban away the Renekton from lock-in. You have memories of that still burned into your mind, Flowers, of how Impact was just hard carrying so many of these EG games. He has since then shown that he can do similar things, obviously on the Shen, but also like, Gragas, and has been a little bit more versatile. Yesterday, the Gragas didn't quite work out for them, though. Impact and Svenskeren with some early bloopers on the top half of the map did cost EG.
Well, we've got the Lilia first picked here for the side of Evil Geniuses. Again, this champion, I like to meme on the win rate a little bit, but 23% is pretty low, so we'll see if Evil Geniuses can figure out how to make this champion work. But on the other side, we are seeing something that is hitting so much success here recently. Fasting Senna with big ol' hungry Tahm Kench right next to her.
Coming to a bot lane near you, Flowers. This is my #1 recommendation to bottom lanes out there. Get you a beefy Tahm Kench, allow him to farm. Senna will be happy just picking up soul scraps, be able to scale that way. And honestly, she scales really, really nicely as a long-range DPS, especially with the buffs to attack speed and Kraken Slayer now working with the Q, people going the Kraken Slayer Rage Blade option. It's no longer, one of the lower DPS, more poke-oriented champions that they were using. Jizuke's jumping on the hype train of the Annie for Jensen movement that's going on. If you want to get out there on Twitter as well, join the movement. Only a few more retweets.
It's over. It's over 5K.
Post. They got it. Yes.
Yeah, they got it. It's over 5K. I looked at it right before I was supposed to be in here to cast this game. It was at like 5,020 or something. They got it.
Nice. All right. Well, we've got an Annie in our futures then. Jizuke is definitely a big fan. They're saving his pick till later in the draft, though, so I expect Dignitas to try and whittle down, because Jizuke is one of the most bannable mid laners. In my opinion, if you take out the Ryze and the Syndra, then you feel way better about the possible options that Jizuke will have left up. We saw the LeBlanc yesterday, ineffective into the Tristana mid from Insanity. And then he kind of goes for more fringe picks. The Echo, I think, is probably the most fearsome, but it does feel like he's one of the ones with a very comfortable champion pool, and you want to take away some of the priority picks. Target mid lane if EG don't pick it early.
Well, we've got the Gangplank and Gnar there in the top lane, but a little bit of imbalance here in the first 3 picks for either side. Yes, it's AD carries. Yes, it's top laners, but considering jungle and support are not quite matched up here, means the bans might seem a little bit different. So Bard is banned away, stopping Ignar from being able to take control of that one and really be a ruckus, cause a ruckus, I should say, all over the map here with those rotations, as the Hecarim will be banned out by Evil Geniuses, trying to take away one of the choices here for Dardoch in the jungle. What's left here, Dig? What do you want to focus?
Too bad though, because he's already played that one, so I doubt it would be a repeat visit here for Dardoch. I think he still has plenty of options to go for. Again, I'm actually kind of surprised the Grave still goes through again. That's one of Dardoch's favorite champions. They are pretty physical heavy already though with the early Gangplank lock-in, so maybe he goes for the Elise or an AP option. It definitely does, have some possibilities of diving bottom if you have Gangplank Ultimate already on top side. Tahm Kench Devour can actually be used very effectively in diving offensively. You devour somebody out after they get the tower aggro and complete your dive that way. There's the Syndra I mentioned. They got one half of it. Actually, it's coming at the hands of EG and won't be the blind pick there for Saligo.
All right, Dignitas, you got to blind pick one of these. What's it going to be? Okay, let's keep on adding some more champions into Dardoch's pool, man. It is the Kayn. Anybody playing fantasy that managed to accurately predict Kayn? Hey, my applause is for you, because I don't know how in the hell you would have got that one right, but Dignitas is going for it, Dardoch's going for it, and the response from EG is grabbing the Seraphine. Incredibly powerful pick right now. That ultimate just completely breaks a team fight. It is so good in any and every situation, and Lucian will round out the draft here for EG.
Ooh, I actually like this. Lucian, they can put it if they want to flex it around. Looks like it'll probably be mid lane for Jizuke, but they still could flex if they really wanted to. Last pickup probably here for Saligo. Very good wave clear for Victor, but does have to worry about harassment from a Lucian lane.
Well, it won't be the Victor after all. Instead, we will have the Zoe picked up here for Dignitas, providing them with the much-needed magic damage this comp was lacking.
See if they go with the LPL style. When LPL mid laners are facing Lucian, a lot of the times they will go Electrocute instead of the Airy. I want to see if he goes Electrocute burst damage. Bottom side, Ezreal Seraphine lane. Very annoying poke to deal with. Tahm Kench will be probably the fed Tahm Kench though, so you get extra levels. Your Grayskin will do wonders for you there.
So one thing that I always look at when I see Seraphine in the game, besides my folder of Skarner and a Space Marine armor images to post on Twitter, is how does this champion work with the rest of her team in terms of who's got slows to set her up? Because her E becomes a root as soon as somebody is already slowed. So with Lilia and Gnar being able to provide that, that'll help a bunch. But early on in the lane, Ezreal doesn't really have any slows to apply, so Seraphine's not going to have as easy of a time setting things up.
Yeah, I mean, she can double cast them herself if you save it for your double cast proc.
Right.
And it is always nice to have that synergy, but not a must-have. It's still really annoying when you have to deal with these two champions constantly throwing out skill shots, especially if you lose control of your minion wave and they get pushing you early, because they can push you under tower and throw harassment at you that way. Like we said, though, for the Senna Tahm Kench, I think they will be pretty fine. Senna, if it is the fasting Senna, does get to try and answer a lot of those poke opportunities that Ezreal and Seraphine make. If they don't hit their skill shots, it is pretty easy for Senna to answer, and she's trying to look to get harassment off to farm up the souls that way as well.
All right, Kobe, let me talk to you a little bit, because I know you love talking jungle, so let's talk Kayn for a while. Because what I've heard from Kayn mains and just that whole community in the past is that for a long time, everybody considered blue Kayn trolling and red Kayn's the right one to go. But the number that I always heard is the magic spot for the blue Kayn is you got to have 3 targets you can instantly blow up. Now, there are 3 targets that can be instantly blown up on the other side. There's 4, actually.
Yeah.
But this is also competitive play. So before we load into the game, before we see the keystones, because those always tell you which one it's going to be, which Kayn is this? Is it blue or red?
So for me, I would say, even though I like red more, higher win rate all around, waiting the extra 2 minutes is such a long power trough, because it's, even if you want to go red, it's so difficult to go it here. You have to get Gnar, catch him in mega form. Like, it's almost impossible to farm those souls because they're all ranged champions. So guess what? You're getting blue souls, Flower.
Probably blue.
If you want to wait the 2-minute penalty to after you get blue transformation, then just sit on your hands and be no transformation Kayn for another 2 minutes until your red comes up. you can go about it, but I would say just go with what the game is giving you. They're all range champions. Immediately transform as early as possible, unless the game state is in such a state that you can handle it no problem and your team is that far ahead. Maybe you have that luxury, but I say blue all the way for this game. Plus, it's Dardoch here. He's looking to style on people. Get some lethality, go blue Kayn, get in there and one-shot these AD carries and the supports alike.
That's what I was going to ask next. Is it a blue Kayn, like true blue type of angle with the lethality and the one-shots and the solo queue nightmare? Or is it blue Kayn with a gore drinker just because you wanted to play red Kayn, but you got the blue?
Nobody wants to see that. If you're going blue, you've made your decision. Don't turn back, okay? It's like you pick Rek'Sai and then you go tank build and you see a Sunfire Rek'Sai out there. You're like, what the hell is going on?
Pick Rek'Sai?
Pick a different champion then. If you're not gonna go lethality in there. So honestly, yeah. Let's see if we can get the blue Kayn. Also, blue Kayn works so well because they have Zoe bubbles. You're fishing with Zoe bubbles. Low cooldown, doesn't cost her a lot to throw out. Somebody falls asleep. Guess what? Kayn is a nightmare. He's going to come over, kill you in your sleep, and get out immediately.
That kill you in your sleep part got pretty monk a W there, man.
That's what happens when Zoe's in the game.
The horror movie version of Zoe. Which is actually just normal Zoe, but still. Okay, so we've got the Senna, we've got the Zoe, we've got Gangplank's global ulti. There's a lot of ranged potential over here on the side of Dignitas. But you know one thing I'm not seeing a lot of, Kobe? Engage. They're great at counter-engage. They're great at kiting back if you try to engage onto them. But in terms of being able to pick the fights themselves, I'm not seeing the tools here unless somebody gets tagged by one of those bubbles.
Yeah, bubbles or Lilia seeds. Two can play the sleep game flowers. See if Lilia can throw out these bowling balls, hit some people with some sleeps as well for them. And, you know, Gnar is always very tricky. If you have confidence in the player, and personally, I have very high confidence in Impact controlling the rage on his Gnar in the side lane, having good teleports, having good flanks with it, and he's earned that trust. He's proven it many times on this champion. So I think that he is one that can balance it pretty well. It's still kind of tricky. It's still pretty finicky. If worse comes to worse, though, the Gnar jumps in. As long as you're Mega, you're beefy enough to not die, and Seraphine can just roll out the Encore, bounce it off your head, extends the range about 4 more screens, and ends up charming a couple people to light them up.
Yeah, I guess that is one thing that they've also got to be aware of here with this roster being mostly these melee champions is Seraphine loves to have a couple of divers on her team to just extend her own ultimate range so she can stay 3,000 units away and just yeet that big old pink Ezreal ulti right down the whole lane. But that's going to take some careful positioning here. We know Lilia likes to try to get in the middle of everybody, go for the big multi-man sleep, but she's not a tank. She will have to make sure she's not overcommitting to that. Otherwise, man, there is so much damage on that enemy team for Dignitas to be able to blow these guys up. I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out here. I hope we get some spice from early on. Even like, I want to see some level 1 invades. You're up against a Kayn. If Kayn gets set behind, he's just this poor little half melee minion with the edgy scythe and a Naruto haircut. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of plays that can be made to shut Kayn down.
Yeah, I also don't want to see Conqueror, because that would be your red. Let's see, Mode of Truth. All right, Dark Harvest.
Okay, we got the Dark Harvest, baby. That means blue. Let's do it.
Good man, Dardoch. Good man. Let's see it. Now, Kayn also, there's some other intricacies. He annihilates Raptor camps just like Lilia does. So maybe we have some level 1 shenanigans. You can often see some weird routes where either Kayn or Lilia teams try and get double Raptors early on or fight over them and transition that way, because Raptor camp is so well positioned that if you can control early Raptor respawns on the 2-minute timer, you basically gain more mid lane priority by virtue of making your opponent's jungle routes more inefficient, them not having their own Raptors to go for and trying to hover around mid and keep a vision around that area. So Dardoch is hovering his own, trying to watch out, play defense here, expecting some EG possibilities of punishment.
All right, Dardoch is not willing to give away those ever so valuable chickens. I feel it. I hate it when people steal my chickens away. It is just one of the most important resources across Summoner's Rift. But Evil Geniuses waiting for the late invade here. They recognize the importance of chicken camp control. This is it. Evil Geniuses walking in, but Fake God is walking down. Dignitas is coming to collapse. It's more TPs breaking out. It's level 1 fights. Svenskeren has to flash away, trying to get all the way out of this one, staying alive, but Afromu is here. They're caught between a rock and a hard place, and it's first blood for Dignitas with the flash over the wall follow from Fake God. He's going to get him even more. Impact down to 100 HP. Where's the last bullet in his poor little Yordle back? One more auto attack will do it, but the blast cone's on the way, and Impact lives.
Holy hell! Hot damn, that is some jungle pressure right there. They said Dignitas was rebuilt around Dardoch, and they're not joking. Everybody listen up. Dardoch says jump, you say how high, come protect my raptors, and all 5 of them show up to do it. Oh my goodness. Svenskeren walks in with a thumbs up. Little did Bambi know the trap is about to close right behind him. Fake God is here. Teleport is right behind him. Afromu's closing the gates. Neo's here as well. You see Ezreal on the minimap immediately going for the bottom lane wave, and he did get to push it, so there's some...
Oh, we are done. We are done. Svenskeren's going to drop, man. Look, as soon as we're back into the game, they're fighting again.
Dardoch's back at it. Souls, Flowers, souls. Look at all those beautiful blue souls picked up by Kayn. This is dream scenario. Sometimes when you play Kayn, you have to sacrifice your life to go for souls and create action. But Dardoch is on fire here. 2 kills over to Dignitas. Tremendous amount of souls picked up early here. This is Dignitas. They are contending for a top team here, Flowers. They're already above 500. They're looking to break into the top of the LCS.
Holy cow, man. And as you can see, we actually had somebody on Twitter predict that the Kayn was coming out. So that dude's got a bigger brain than me, because I would have never predicted the Kayn, nor would I have predicted it to be going this well for him early on in the game with all those orbs already in his pocket. 2 deaths on the enemy jungler, and Dignitas are feeling good about the way this one is starting up, man. This is great. The kills, even 1 on each one of the solo laners, feels fantastic.
You know what I'm remembering now, too, is Fake God's hilarious interview after their previous victory. Litigris asked him, okay, so what is this strategy with Dardoch picking a different champion every game? Is that just a Dardoch thing? Or, like, you know, is that the strat? You guys got some plans going? And he was like, you know what? That's just a Dardoch thing. He picks what he wants to pick, and sometimes we win.
It's a Dardoch angle, man. Okay, Svenskeren's up here topside. He's trying to get back on the board. He knows Fake God has no flash any longer. The Eep comes down, the damage goes out, and Impact is the first one on Evil Geniuses to grab a kill.
Yeah, sometimes we win, sometimes they die top lane. Wave is pushing away from him, doesn't have flash from the level 1, so we do get to see some repercussions. You know,
yes.
there is more game to play. There is aftermath after these level 1s, despite, you know, scrims sometimes being remade after disasters of the like. And since Impact ended up not dying in it and the flash was blown, good heads-up play by Svenskeren to go punish one of the flashes that was used in the level 1. Dardoch now between 2 evil members.
Oh, man, he tries to invade, he tries to get something, but all he does is give Svenskeren some pins to knock over with that bowling ball. Evil Geniuses ties up the game in kills, in gold. They put Kayn in the ground as well, and Svenskeren is right back in it.
Got to keep some good focus here. Tilt-proof, Captain Flowers.
Oh,
Little ones don't mean everything. You just write down all the flash timers, and you punish. Dardoch here goes for the invade while his top laner just got killed. This is a bad timing. This is not your timing to go for an invade.
No.
Impact is still topside. You do not have flash from the second kill towards mid lane where he used it to be able to pick that one up. And just like that, the Evil Geniuses right back in this game, picking up those kills top side of the map.
And here's, so Dardoch also, I'm just going to go ahead and start this statement off with I am not familiar with what Blue Kayn currently builds because I haven't seen him in a while, but it will be a Mana Moon built here by Dardoch on the Blue Kayn this game. You can see already stacking up the Tear of the Goddess in the inventory, so we'll have to try to keep track of when that one is all the way charged. Dardoch, still level 5, has 2 procs on the Dark Harvest from the couple of assists that he's already collected for himself, and now with he and Neo rotating over here into the mid lane, Jizuke just with a quick dash getting away from the CC and the damage, but the Paddle Star catches up, but not enough to grab the kill. So Jizuke doesn't have to use the cleanse or anything like that, but will have to go on back home.
Well, I got your back because I like to play Blue Cane a little bit for fun in flex queue and stuff when you're
all right. What do you got?
Having some fun. I don't use it a lot for ranked. The higher win rate is of course Gourd Drinker. It's going to be the red cane build, but if you're going Blue Cane, you go for lethality, and the most used and highest win rate for solo queue is either Prowler's Claw or Dustblade. It's nothing fancy, not surprising there. So I am interested to see how the Manamune works out for Dardoch. It does mean that you can constantly roam around the map. That is one thing. Sometimes spamming your extra speed from your E and going for constant harassment does drain your mana on Blue Cane. And oftentimes I'll just be stealing all the blue buffs later in the game.
So you're not building the Manamune then?
Like I said, I caveat with it's a bit for fun type of build with me. We're going full assassin, but this does alleviate that issue. And if you're going to use Blue Cane in competitive, then you don't want to deny your mid laner blue buff. You want Saligo on this, Zoe to be able to constantly throw out bubbles and fish for big game-changing bubble snares that are going to get you the kill. So I do like it here.
Oh, Jizuke deciding that was his angle to go in for the solo kill, but with Dardoch hanging around, he can't play as aggressively as he wanted to, so that means that it's just both mid laners reduced below half HP and chugging potions.
Yeah, and Saligo can play it pretty safe for the Zoe. This is why he changed his pick from Victor to Zoe. Both can play decently far back, trying to look at the minions with their long-range wave clear, but Dardoch still looking mid with red buff on and Svenskeren tanking up the Rift Herald. Looks like they're going to have different ideas.
Okay, Dardoch level 6, but still unevolved. As Saligo throws out the Paddle Star, goes in, lands it onto Jizuke, nice. Forces the dash over the wall. As now the Kayn ulti's been used, Svenskaren's in danger, going back for the smite for the heal. But Dignitas has control over the objective. Fake God likely going to be killed here, tries to run away from the last auto attack. He is taken out by Jizuke. Afromoose joined the fight here, throwing out the tongue, but not finding a lot as flashes come out from Dignitas over the wall, trying to get Saligo and Dardoch over to safety. Saligo is out, but Dardoch is still in a bit of danger. Nice sleep from Saligo, buying a little bit of extra time here for his jungler. Dardoch gets away underneath the tier 1 turret. Evil Geniuses might just continue to go after this. They know Dardoch has no ulti. There's no ulti, and the Gnar bar is up. Nope, never mind, it doesn't really matter. All right, okay, they went for it, it didn't work out. And it's still going to be an Evil Geniuses game, 3-2 with a 1,000 gold lead.
Kayn is one of the only, actually the only champion in the game that can pull off that Dota-style play where you run up into the trees when you're up in the top corner. They can't follow you up in there. Nobody else can actually go off the map like he can. So Dardoch does have his E cooldown available, which is the most fun part for me about playing Blue Cane. Yes, I know your W is great. You can cast it and keep on moving, but it's all about the E speed for me when he gets his transform. Regardless, even though Dig do get the Rift Herald, they chase them off temporarily, hit the eyeball, pick that one up for Dardoch. With the extra kill for EG, they still hold the lead, and well, they don't hold the Scuttle Crab.
Nope. Scuttle Crab goes over to the side of Dignitas. Evil Geniuses still maintaining control over the river itself, though. Unfortunately, they cannot remove that Scuttle Crab vision, but they'll sweep out the rest thanks to Ignar's sweeper. Looking at the vision scores down there, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on here. The best vision scores in the game are just Svenskeren and Neo so far, with Neo, of course, playing the role of the support down there during the laning phase. Fake got an impact in the 1v1. Fake God's taking a lot of damage, though. Nice combo coming out from Impact to take him down and get the solo kill. Thumbs down emote to go with it.
That's just stone cold here from Impact. Top die, business as usual. They didn't kill me in the level 1. They're never going to kill me. Here's another look at the replay on the Rift Herald, though. And EG, I like how they do not get distracted by the Rift Herald. They focus on kills first. Then Afromu teleporting in on this Tahm Kench once again with his, he's kind of cosplaying a top lane Tahm Kench with taking teleport and being a farming Tahm Kench from the bottom side. Level 6 already for himself. Definitely is going to be a factor here for Dig to try and get future saves, and he's actually getting someone to eat.
Dardoch trying to make the play down here in the bottom lane. Doesn't get the ult off before Ignar flashes over the wall, which means Evil Geniuses can use that summoner spell on their support to properly disengage this. But now it's Dignitas looking to take down the Drake here. Svenskaren's still hanging around. Oh, nice escape there for Aphromoo and Neo, getting themselves out of danger as that Seraphine ulti flew in. But Evil Geniuses is not done. They're going right back to the Drake. They've got man advantage for now, 5 versus 3. But with the Gangplank ulti coming down, Svenskaren's got to be very concerned about his overall health pool. Dardoch still trying to frontline here, find a little bit of an opportunity for some damage. Sleepy Trouble Bubble marks Jizuke, but he will not be hit with a follow-up Paddle Star. Dragon is gone. The Eep takes care of it. Impact goes after Saligo, but won't find it. But that's still the objective, going the way of Evil Geniuses.
Just a little bit more juice on the side of Dignitas, and I think they would have actually fought that even 4v5. But Neo, no mana. Dardoch gets chunked out pretty early on, so they don't. They do succeed in delaying it long enough for Fake God to take 2 plates off of the top tower for himself, though, in addition to trying to lend his ultimate to delay it even further. So Dignitas do get some good gold out of it. It still is going to be a trailing game here for them versus EG, and EG picking up the Dragon on top of their gold lead feels quite nice. I think that Kane should be transforming Oh, he is actually, yeah!
What?
Okay,
wait, if this hits, it's the best play ever. If this hits, it's the best.
Yes! Yes!
Okay, so the turret killed the first guy, and the Ezreal ulti from somewhere out in South Carolina just killed the Zoe. Holy moly.
All right, definitely. I see you. I see you. He's got Essence Reaver completed. Cleans up that mid lane kill. Holy moly. That needed some cleaning up, too. I guess Saligo's now saying bot diff. What the heck is this? Honestly, there's no, if you look at the path from it, too, there were no deep wards. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of a deep jungle ward or something, give you vision of the Ezreal ult you can call that off. But Saligo was almost completed on his recall, probably already congratulating himself on the execution that Jizuke just suffered at the hands of his tower. And gets cut out real quick.
That was messy, but top side's looking to get even messier with the 2v2. Svenskaren possessed by Dardoch's ulti. Dardoch trying to disengage, but must use the flash to try to complete the attempt. Svenskaren goes right back in for the blooming blows and the swirl seed, but the follow-up damage isn't enough from either side, and that means everybody walks away except Saligo, who is once again in trouble of being gold from Jizuke. He's underneath the turret once more. Saligo continues kiting out. How does it happen twice?
No! This game is a YouTube highlight reel from start to finish, Flowers! I'm loving it. All right, Jizuke never disappoints. As soon as yesterday we got a segment talking about this man has turned a new leaf. He's so consistent now. Jizuke, he constantly delivers. I know he was just building it up. Couple of tower deaths here early on in the Dig game, and he's right back to the Jizuke we all know and love.
Oh my goodness, what a game is playing out in front of our eyes here today as our third matchup. 15 minutes in, 8 kills, just wildness all over Summoner's Rift, man. We got the Stride Breaker now getting completed for the Gnar, for more playmaking up there in the top lane. Dardoch is still, okay, never mind, he is evolved. It's harder for me to tell.
Yeah, Odyssey
evolved on that skin.
Odyssey is kind of hard to tell, but you can tell from the icon on the mini-map as well. It's a big double-bladed scythe.
The icon's the same.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's base Odyssey King.
Yeah, fair enough. You can tell from the double scythe, though. It's extra big now.
Okay, I'll pay attention to the scythe from now on. Well, Dardoch is involved. Still waiting to get that first item in there. Definitely is grabbing a kill on Neo as soon as the camera jumps down into the bottom lane. He is just gone. So the Senna is going to be shut down here for a little while and definitely sitting on 2 kills.
Yeah, he's truly fasting down here, Neo, and definitely has turned it on. Ezreal no longer having to scale so hard. Fake God, though.
Oh, Fake God getting hit there with the wallop means he's done. Impact on a killing spree now, too.
Yeah, it's definitely a top die game. This game has had so many things, you know, ups and downs, laughing, crying, but one thing remains constant, Flowers, and that is Impact top die here. He is just abusing Fake God. Despite the extra CS picked up by the Gangplank, Impact is able to get the tower with a little bit of extra help, as well as multiple kills. Let's take a look at how it happened to Neo here. Big chunk. Again, we were talking about the skill shots. If you land them with the Seraphine Ezreal, it is brutal and definitely is just so accurate with these ultimates. Loving how he's always shooting them from out of vision too. Hops into the brush here on the bottom side. Last one was from base. No wards giving vision of his ultimate, and you don't give your opponents as much time to try and dodge.
Well, Evil Geniuses will maintain the gold lead that they had earlier and even continue building it up further, man. 2,000 gold's about to become 3 as Shelly collides with the tier 1 turret in the mid lane. Doesn't look like Dignitas is... Wait, what?
Was Neo's flash up from that? When we came out of the replay, his flash is up.
I do not know specifically. I don't want to say it if I'm not 100% confident, but I'm 100% confident that Dardoch is 100% dead. Now, the sleep down onto Impact may just get a return kill here. Saligo will not find that one. Jizuke grabbing a little bit of damage here off the back end. Oh, no, poor little Gnar. He thought he got away, but he just runs out of the bush with 50 health and gets murdered as the sleep finds its way onto Seraphine. Here comes the damage to follow it up. She is gone. Afromu taking the kill credit as Dignitas pick themselves up a couple of kills off of the back end of losing their jungler. Now pressuring onto the tier 1 turret, trying to close that gold gap.
And that's going to be 2 towers, Flowers, because Impact going down leaves Fake God alone on the top side. He finally answers back. Top tower is dead. Mid tower also falling here. So it's a huge, huge bounty for Dignitas as they pick up 2 extra objectives for themselves. That makes up a lot of that gold difference. So even though EG retaining control over Dragons, still with a decent gold lead for themselves, Dig coming back pretty quickly. And it is the Prowler's Claw that we are looking for from Dardoch. So it's just the tier starting item. I know Freak specifically loves this starting item since they added the extra, on-hit damage for minions to it. Makes a lot of sense. The burn, by the way, damage over time, does not wake you up, anything coded as such, and Impact burning down eventually picked up here at the hands. But really, the cool thing was the poke damage. Fall asleep, and you're dead. Yeah. As we said for Champ Select, Neo's got plenty of range now, too, on the Senna. See if we can get a soul check-in anytime soon here on the Senna, because that looked like a frustratingly long range auto from the Senna already, only 19 minutes in.
Okay, we've got a very close game on our hands. We've got Baron coming up here in about 45 seconds. Now, the Drakes completely favor Evil Geniuses at this point with a 2-0 count, and the next one's not spawning for about 3 minutes. So with nothing to really fight for just yet, what do you want to see from these teams, and particularly from Dignitas, since they're the team that's currently behind?
We need to look for bubble positioning. Here's a fight, though.
Oh, no, never mind. We got to fight instead. No time to talk about that. Svenskeren flashing over the wall, staying alive. Gangplank ulti going to be keeping some people away as Dardoch goes into the back line, goes right back out of that line, as now a bit more damage is coming down on the Dignitas. Neo going into the stasis, keeping himself alive as Impact's about to be shut down with the damage onto Jizuke, bringing another one in over to Dig. As a double kill for Saligo just spells a curtain call for Evil Geniuses. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let the bodies hit the floor. It's definitely versus the world. And the world's got a big old anime scythe. Dignitas just take everything, and they're going right over the Baron pit on spawn.
All right, Dignitas are claiming that spot, Flowers. What a fight in the jungle. Baron will be such a big reward. They can push down bottom side, standing gold with that outer turret there still too. They have so much they can clean up on the map. And my goodness, they are playing so well around these sleep timings. Fed Tom Kench doing work for Afro as well. Multiple saves in this fight. Neo and Afro started out on a Svenskeren, forcing out his Zhonya's early. And with that early use of the Seraphine ultimate, no priority targets hit. That is a main team fight tool down. So even though Impact gets a pretty good Gnar ultimate here, there's no follow-up from EG at this point. They've already used their major cooldowns. They've already lost 2 members of the team, and Dignitas are able to pounce.
Holy cow, man. That Honda performance play showed off exactly how it crumbled there for Evil Geniuses. Damage in the last team fight will spell it a different way in case it didn't resonate. 3,000 damage from the Zoe, 2,000 from the Kane, 2,000 from Gangplank. Now, Ezreal did 3K over on the other side, but aside from him, it just wasn't quite at the same level, man. Dignitas feeling great after that one, and now, forget the question I asked you earlier, Kobe. It is no longer relevant. Dignitas do not have to worry about fighting from behind as they now command Baron 21 minutes in, and they got 2 minutes left to use it here. Considering they've only taken 2 turrets so far, that's tons of standing gold they can try to control. Zaligo's got to be careful to not get punished right here, and Drake is spawning in 45 seconds.
Yeah, you know what they have to worry about pretty soon? It's Zoom Zoom Kane. Dardoch level 12 now. He's got the Prowler's Claw. Close to, I would vote for Ghostblade. Because the most frustrating thing... Oh, never mind.
Oh, we don't have time to talk about it, my friend. Lilia is gone. Impact trying to escape now as the Gangplank ulti comes down and separates the rest of the team from him. Narbar is just about charged. Dignitas have to respect that one, but they don't really care too much, as the gobble from the Tom Kench keeps Dardoch safe from any sort of follow-up counterattack. Jizuke's jumping in there, going after Saligo yet again. This whole game is a highlight reel of tragedy for Jizuke going after these kills on the enemy Zoe. It's always so close, but still so far. 5 alive on Dignitas, and they're pushing down the mid lane.
Definitely is the lone hope for EG right now. He's got his Conqueror stacks up. He's trying his best. Mystic Shot number 3 lands. Pretty accurate, but Dardoch's coming.
Okay, Dardoch and Dignitas trying to stick around long enough to make sure they get that tier 2, and yes, they will. And now, hey, man, they've got a buy one, get one free deal as they can manage to get over to the Drake pit. No opportunity for Evil Geniuses to contest this one with Jizuke still dead for another second or two, and that means Dignitas stopped the soul stack in the process of taking more and more gold from Evil Geniuses. Afro move's not done, though. We got another play breaking out here on the bottom side. And Dardoch picks Finn scaring up. Man, he's just free money at this point.
Yeah, it feels so nice to be able to run through the enemy jungle like this on Kane at this point. Baron buff's still on, so they send Saligo back to answer Impact split push, and Dardoch's still here with no mana, no life either.
Oh, but he's saved, and he's healed again. And Dardoch is still alive, running away from Evil Geniuses. This is one of those kinds of games for EG. So often, people are just getting away with the smallest amount of health, and it's so frustrating. But for Dignitas, they are just smooth criminals on Summoner's Rift here. 12-8 now.
I honestly love the Dignitas story, too. It's so many players that were rejected from other teams. Fake God, Saligo, getting their chances to shine here. Team fully rebuilt around Dardoch. Neo, I think, after the name change, coming in with a vengeance, too. And Afromoose sticking true to raising up new AD carry after new AD carry to greatness. If they can complete this win, moving to 4-2 at the top of the standings here in the LCS sets them up so nicely. It's actually crazy how above expectations these guys have been able to perform. And it's been in an exciting manner. You can't say they're not doing it without flair. 10 different unique champions for Dardoch, going very aggressive here with the gameplay.
I also just love the fact that every single time we try to talk about a subject, we've got a fight breaking out before the conversation even gets off the ground. As another kill comes through, Dignitas. At this point, man, can we just put a new alcove in the jungle for Svenskeren? Because they're farming him like one of the camps now. Just pick him up on your Gromp and Wolves rotation. You might as well. Dignitas are owning the entirety of neutral territory on Summoner's Rift here in this game. 13-8, continuing to apply pressure up here in the top side, looking towards these remaining tier 2 turrets. As you can see, the gold graph tell quite a story with that ocean of red there that's been happening since the 20-minute mark, ever since Dignitas got that team fight and got that Baron.
All right, and Dardoch did complete his Manamune, so we shall see about the transformation time for that as well. Cruising along pretty nicely here. I think Saligo with the Zoe, though, has been doing so much work. We've seen the difference between the Zoes landing these critical bubbles over and over versus the ones that don't. And since we've seen so many hits...
Oh! See you later, Seraphine. The tour is canceled as now Dardoch's getting right back out. The ulti buys him the escape route, and the tier 2 turret falls down as well. Dignitas, they found themselves a kill. I don't think they're going to go for anything else, but they get out, they'll take the turret, they'll take the blue buff, they've got everything.
Yeah, you thought I was being a little too brutal there with the Kayn kills you in your sleep when Zoe's on his team, Flowers. That's just what happens. Sleepy Trouble Bubble hits, Dardoch goes in, and you are toast. Such a good little synergy here, and I think so much credit does go to Soligo for doing the hard work of hitting those, because a Zoe missing skill shots is not a Zoe at all.
No, Zoe missing skill shots is just not much of anything at all, as Dignitas is now prepared for the second Baron of the game. Still commanding a massive gold lead here. Full control over this top side of the map. You can see the wards being set up by Dignitas in the enemy jungle, making sure they're fully aware if Evil Geniuses ever decides to approach from that angle. But Evil Geniuses isn't on that angle. They're all in mid, trying to rotate over as a group. They know that nobody can be alone when Kayn and Zoe are still a factor. But the fact that everybody's still stuck together and they have to move over so slowly and methodically means Dig had Cryo. Dig takes out the tier 3 turret without a fight, and Dignitas can disengage cleanly.
Good. I want this game to go long, Flowers, because I want to see the zoom Kayn. My favorite part is if blue Kayn gets Ghost Blade, and you get to activate that while Eing at them. You just constantly go in for, gonna activate Baron, even though you missed, you still hit there. Slight delay on it. But the Ghost Blade plus E is so frustrating for a team like EG to deal with, because they don't have point-and-click CC to deal with. It's something that you bring up when you talk about champs like LeBlanc. When they're constantly going in for these poke combinations that are hard to punish without instant CC. And so it has to be really reactive stuff from EG. They've got slow-moving projectiles. You know, the Encore for Seraphine is probably the closest chance, because it's very difficult for Lilia or Gnar to have any sort of on-demand effect there. And he actually goes for the Spell Shield instead for Dardoch, so that protects him even from those slight CC options.
Yeah, when I think of a highly agile projectile, I do not immediately want to mention a bowling ball, but that's about all they've got to work with here, as they do manage to poke off the Edge of Night from Dardoch. Dignitas moving forward, wanting to contest this one. Evil Geniuses, they know they've already got the 2 Drakes. They want to try to stick around and make it 3. Dardoch's approaching from the side. Drake down to about 2,000, and it's Drake over to Dignitas, tying those up, and they disengage.
Nice mobility here from Dardoch, slips over, steals it. EG crying once again. Does anyone to get tagged?
Fake God's still here on the front line. Soligo going unstoppable. Jizuke going back to the fountain. Definitely in a bad spot. Svenskeren still alive, but not for long. Stepping forward just a little bit farther, trying to grab a kill. He's into stasis, but he's gone, man. Double kill for Neo, and Dignitas gets themselves an ace for nothing. Bud Light ace for the big plays in the bottom lane. They aren't even walking towards the Baron here just yet. They're leaving Fake God to push down mid, realizing, okay, we can't just push to end right now. There's still a lot of stuff left in that enemy base. Let's just take Baron for free.
They say you'll never know if you don't try, Flowers. Give me some more blue Kayn in competitive. Somebody tag Daniel Dracos. I know he is a Kayn main for a long time. I love this stuff. We need to
Where
get
you at,
this
Dracos?
pod. That was hilarious. Did you see at the beginning? Dardoch goes in, just one-shots without even having to use his ultimate, survives the whole fight. Oh my goodness, it's just so cool how, yes, they let Dardoch, use all these unique champions, but they also have built-in synergy. Tahm Kench devours, lets him get free resets. They also have Zoe Bubbles. Okay, the ultimate was used for the one shot, and the second one, he just uses W and Q, and then the third one heals on his E right back out onto the wall, doesn't go down. Clean ace from Dig, nobody losing their life. And this is now going to be just a torrential downpour, as there are exposed inhibitors, there are dead inhibitors, and Dig with a Baron buff can march straight through the bottom side.
Is there... Oh, never mind. No time to ask a question. Sleep goes through. Nice shutdown onto Dardoch. That's pretty big here for Evil Geniuses. That'll buy them 45 seconds if they don't have to deal with the full might of Dignitas.
Invert chiming in as well. All right, that's good. We got to get all the coaches on board. All analysts and coaches need to be impressed so we get more stuff like this. Love it when the unique picks actually work out. It's a completely different scenario. I remember always back to 2 years ago or 3 years ago when we had Moon pull out the Shaco. Never mind, Fake God under attack, might have to fight for his life.
Fake God down to about a quarter HP, saved by Tom Kench. Sleep finds a target, so much damage onto the Evil Geniuses lineup. Everybody's at half HP or lower. Yes, they nearly got the kill onto Fake God, but again, close doesn't get it done. It's a game of inches here today as Evil Geniuses come up short time and again. Dignitas continuing the siege of the tier 3 turret. That one falls down. It's a 9-3 turret count. Kaboom! See ya later, you poor little prehistoric Yordle. As Gangplank just marches back up to the top side. Fake God wants to turn this one into a 3-inhib game. Jizuke moves forward to try to stop him however he can. Svenskeren also hanging around here, but it's so much that these guys have to deal with now. Svenskeren goes forward and he's gone. Neo is unstoppable. 1-8 for Svenskeren in this game. Neo continuing the chase, looking for one more auto on the Deathly, but they don't even need it. Dignitas, after an awesome fight, 20 minutes into the game, the next 12 minutes is just their highlight reel, and they take down EG.
That was refreshing, and look at the smiles on their faces. It makes it that much better, Flowers, when you can perform Ultimate Bravery on the LCS stage. 10 completed champions for Dardoch, but my honor goes to Saligo. It's nothing if you don't hit those Zoe bubbles. He had the most kill participation in the team. It's so nice to be able to set up with these opportunities. And I really did like how all the coaching staff also behind it for Dignitas. They've got Tom Kench for devouring, so you can get multiple resets. They have Zoe bubbles to set it up. Just such a fun game here. And we've got another unlikely 4-2 team battling at the top.
I don't think a lot of people would have predicted Dignitas to be 4-2 after 2 weeks of regular season play, but hell yeah, Dignitas, they're getting it done. And now we're going to go ahead and throw to a break here, but once we come back, we're going to hear from Saligo in the Verizon post-game interview, so don't y'all go anywhere. See you soon.
This phone paired with 5G ultra wideband. Wow.
The new Samsung Galaxy S21 is on Verizon 5G ultra wideband, available in parts of many cities.
It's ridiculously fast.
Buy Samsung Galaxy S21 plus 5G. Get one on us. Only on Verizon.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the LCS and the Verizon post-game interview. Here with Soligo, hot off their victory over EG. But let's be honest, Soligo, this one was a little wild. Got a little out of hand there in the mid-game, but you guys were able to pull it together. So walk me through it. How did this one ultimately come together as a victory for you guys?
Well, at least for our team, I think this was the first game that me, Neo, and Fakeout were put in a position where we were just constantly fighting, and it was just chaotic throughout the entire game. And I think a lot of credit should go to Dardoch and Aframu and how they were consistently able to get us on the same page, even though the game was really chaotic.
I love that you call those two guys out. There's some very clear definition in the Dignitas roster where you've got two guys like Dardoch and Aframu who have been on the LCS stage, have played under all kinds of different, moments of tension, different organizations, and different styles, of strategy ultimately when it comes to winning. So what's that like for you in the learning process and for your own development to have a player like Dardoch who seems to just warp the game? When he's in the game, it feels like it's a different game of League of Legends.
Yeah, so with Dardoch on the team, especially since he's also a jungler who brings a lot of unique picks to the table, it's very easy to just ask him questions and ask him how he wants to play the game with whatever he's playing, and then just go from there. And the job for us rookies is kind of just to listen and to learn as we go along and then play as a team.
Well, on the topic of learning and development, I have a curiosity when it comes to mid laners, specifically this year with the departure of Bjergsen and some, opening up in the conversation of top-tier mid laners and ultimately what the landscape will look like in North America over the coming years. Where do you feel you fit in? What's the goal for you this year as an individual? What kind of a mid laner do you want to be?
It's hard for me to say exactly what kind of mid laner I want to be right now, but I just want to at least be able to show that I'm able to compete with the top mid laners in LCS, and that I'm able to compete there.
Oh, well, I mean, so far you are competing. 4-2 record. Dignitas has quietly landed at 4-2. There's been all this conversation around top teams and comparing to the lock-in results. And here you guys are essentially tied for top 4. And yet, Dignitas has been absent from the conversation. So how do you feel about where Dignitas slots into the overall competition of the league this year?
Well, for us, I still think we have a lot of work to do in terms of our gameplay and being able to perform consistently against the top teams. But I think since the beginning of this roster, we've been making a lot of steady progress, and it's only uphill from here.
I mean, we've got no undefeated teams remaining in the LCS. Do you get the sense that this might be one of the closest years that the LCS has ever experienced?
I think definitely for sure. I feel like the top teams aren't as unbeatable as they may have been before with Cloud9 and Team Liquid and stuff. But yeah, it definitely feels especially with the current meta too, that any team can win against each other, and I think we'll be able to compete with any of the top teams as well.
That's what I like to hear, man. You've already given us a ton of exciting games and great entertainment just a couple weeks in. As we head back to the State Farm Analyst Desk, Soligo, I want to thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
That's exactly right, Dash. Exciting games coming out of Dignitas. At the top of the day, we were commending 100 Thieves and Team Liquid for giving us a show of such great macro. And I have to say, this was entertaining in a completely different way. And at the center of it was Dardoch.
Yeah, I mean, this was the Dardoch show. Anything he wanted in the early game, Dardoch got. It was, what can we do for you, Dardoch, my lord? They're invading you, level 1? Everyone, TP, rally. And it was just get him off to a good start was clearly the game plan. And they really went all out to make this happen, blowing the TP on the Tahm Kench, as well as the fact that Neo is just hard roaming to make this happen. Ezreal's like, all right, whatever, I'm going bot lane. This chase down was super close to succeeding, but even after that, that show kind of continued. Dardoch is going to scrap out in the middle here, and again, Neo, level 1, roaming to support his jungler so that they could get this second kill, and that put Neo super far behind in this game. And then my problem is, if you're going to be this kind of player who's going to get a ton of resources, you cannot go for this invade. They just killed your top laner. He's recalling from base. Zoe loses a mid priority early, so Lucian's going to collapse here first as well. And it's just such a greedy, risky invade that Dardoch had that kind of threw away this early game that his team built up for him. You know, from there, Dardoch played well and stuff, but it's just such a painful invade to see happen after all the resources that were thrown to Dardoch.
I love the wording, the verb there, Mark. Thrown away. Thrown away. There's a lot of throwing this game.
Emily, you want to get in here?
Oh, I was just going to say, I think one of the things I really wanted to point out that could have gone pretty poorly for Dig if they hadn't been able to snowball with this composition, which I actually really love this comp just generally. It's fun. They scale remarkably well. Everyone who's listened to me on Desk should already know my feelings on Fasting Senna. And Zoe, she fits super well into this comp. I know she's super obnoxious to play against, and I hate playing against her, but I think she's insane and competitive. So again, I'm always happy to see more Zoe coming out. They could have been severely punished for how many times Neo left lane, because it's so important for him to get that early XP. And he was in mid, twice before like five or 6 minutes or something.
You went again, too.
Yeah, I was a little concerned about that, but it ended up okay in the end. I was afraid they were going to get punished for that once they started rolling.
Yeah, a lot of ebbs and flows in that game for sure. You mentioned Zoe, Emily, and Crumbs. I want to get your thoughts on some of the shenanigans that we saw going down in the mid lane.
Yeah, those references to the throws are about the mid lane matchup, because Jizuke had good priority here, and here he's defending, Soligo defending his top lane, putting a ward, knows that action is happening, and then Jizuke is like, all right, great, I can just kill the Zoe right here, flashing in, but now you can go back to the lane, right? Go back to the lane, get advantage, go back to, no, he wants to chase. And he just died. He just flat out died to the turret. So Soligo didn't even hit him with a Q. You just cannot do that, please. Like, that is actually the second death under the turret into Soligo's lane. So yeah, the Zoe gets fed because you just fed her. This was a really bad Lucian game for Jizuke, and I want to see better champions for him. Clearly, the LeBlanc, the Echo, and the Ryze look good, but the ones that aren't those are still needing a lot of work.
Zoe wasn't feeling too hungry after that one. But despite what we saw kind of going on in a bit of the trade-off here and there across the map, Mark, it really came down to a single fight where we saw to see the victory be a potential again for Dignitas.
Yeah, despite that, some of those mistakes by Jizuke, Impact has actually done a great job helping his team get a lead. They had a gold lead heading into this fight, and I think you see some of the power that Emily was talking about in like mid and late game team fighting, how many tools they have to deal with the opponent engage, the Tahm Kench, the heals, the shields. Dardoch is very slippery and mobile. There's not a ton of lockdown when you have this basically 4.5 range comp for EG. It's only Impact who is the top laner with the CC. And so like once Dardoch goes in, he's able to get out, go back in, and they can really peel apart the enemy team.
And you saw Soligo landing all of that CC in that fight. Like, he played that really well. And not only does Zoe just do a ton of damage with Battlestar, but again, she's also a kind of a CC bot as well. So as Mark said, you know, Kayn can just go in and absolutely slaughter people through the back line, and he doesn't have to worry about someone else coming in because, oh, Soligo is, you know, bubbling someone and they can't come in and attack him. I can't stress enough how powerful Zoe can be in some of these team fights, regardless of what composition you try to run.
It was for sure entertaining seeing people just deleted by Zoe in that case. A lot of fun in that game overall, but the fun doesn't stop here. We do have Cloud9 facing off against FlyQuest on the other side of this break. Stay tuned.
Don't let the comfort fool you. Don't let the attention to detail lead you to believe that a Honda is a delicate machine. You'd be wrong. Underneath every surface that carries a Honda badge, there has always been the capacity to amaze. From the core of everything we have ever built, all the way to the top of where you want to go. Rise to the challenge with the rugged performance of the Honda Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline.